Hey Tillman, Coach Benlin here. I'm just breaking down some of your swings from my last couple sessions here. I put a bunch of my notes into a document that I could send over to you after the video. I started off by putting some things I really like about your swing, some things that are working well for you, a couple points of emphasis here as we get ready for the spring and the summer seasons, and then a little diagram I want to show you talking about where to hit certain pitches, and then a comparison to a guy I see that reminds me of you a little bit in the major leagues. So I have a couple loops here that I could play for you of your swing, but just things that are jumping out to me right away. I think you have a simple load, right? Not too much going on. You have quick trigger. You're able to pick it up and put it down and be ready to hit. I'll show you in the loop. You're hitting off the machine and it's giving you some timing issues, but you're able to keep your weight back and kind of use a toe tap to stay balanced, and you're still getting good pieces of the ball, which means that you're balanced in your load and you're consistently ready to hit, which is great. I think that you're really squaring up baseballs when your head is down at contact. Sometimes your head follows your front shoulder and you kind of pull off and you lose track of the pitch. But when you're seeing the ball well and your head's down at contact, you're really doing a great job of hitting the ball hard. I like that you're finishing through contact consistently. You're extending through baseballs, doing a great job letting your hands go out there in front, getting both arms extended, which is where power comes from. I love your finish. It's an up and out big finish with the one hand follow through. It shows that you're finishing the path of your hands. I'll also talk about some approach things, and I really think you're at your best when you're getting extended on the outer half. Right. Sometimes I feel like you get surprised by the outer half fastball, especially deeper in counts. I think you should be looking for that pitch. I think you should take those outer half pitches, especially fastballs, and spray them to the right center field gap. I think you should hit early in the count, hunt fastballs, and key on that outer half. Don't be surprised when you have two strikes and the umpire's expanding to the zone a little bit and you're getting frozen up on the outside pitch. I'll play through the loops real quick and then I'll go over a couple points of emphasis here. So the first one I wanted to show you that kind of showed me a lot of good things, believe it or not. When you see it, you're going to be surprised I'm saying that because of the timing issues off the machine. Um, but I love how you stay balanced the whole time. I'll let it play through and then I'll kind of break it down a little bit. You're gonna see a couple like your front legs getting a little stuck in the ground a couple times here. You get a little frustrated too. You can see on the video, but I mean, you hit some of these balls really well. You're squaring them up and right back where they came from, right back at the machine. Right there's a timing problem right there. You can tell you're frustrated. Yeah, play it through again. That one, your head came off. You pulled your head out. Try to pull an outside pitch. Good piece there. But the machine gives a lot of our hitters difficulty early in the season. I thought you did a pretty good job off it. One of the better rounds we saw. Okay, so let me start with this first swing here, and I'll kind of break it down here. Um, this one, other than the timing issue, because right here you're good. Your foot's in the ground, you're on time, you make a good adjustment. But here's what I'm talking about when your head's not down at contact and you're kind of pulling out your head a little bit. Right here, you kind of roll off this pitch, trying to pull an outside pitch, miss hit it. And you could tell afterwards here, you could tell you're a little frustrated with yourself right here. And then you make a small adjustment here, keep your head down. And this is one of the better swings. Despite, you'll see this toe tap you use to stay on balance here. Bring it back. Top of your load here. Toe tap, get your balance right, stay back. Here it comes. Front foot down, head down, right through the ball right there. There's some really good frames here, and I'll break them down in a second. Um, and then I'll show you a front toss loop as well. Let me go back to the document. So things that are concerns maybe going forward. When we're talking about your hands and your hand path, right? Sometimes you tend to drop your hands a little bit. Um, it doesn't show so much on the couple loops I have here, but I remember watching it, especially last summer, and then in these sessions as well this winter. Sometimes your hands kind of drop down to your belt and you get below some balls. And I think as velocity increases, you're gonna have trouble staying on top of those baseballs. So I just put here high hand path, hands across the chest, right? Let's attack, from our hands back in the load. straight to out in front and cut the ball in half from the top. Let's not get, beneath baseballs and clip the bottom half. We want to avoid dropping our hands at all costs. And I put a question: can we get to the raised fastball? The up and out fastball, the up and in fastball. Sometimes I've seen that give you some trouble. So I want to make sure that, especially early in the spring, let's make sure we're exaggerating, um, getting on top of baseballs. And the best way to do that off the tee is you can bring the tee all the way up, work on some high ball off the tee, right? Make sure you're staying on top of that baseball. If you're hitting, those 100 boxes directly in front, 10 by 10 square, right into the netting, and you're just consistently hitting line drives, you'll do a great job improving that going forward. But staying on top of the ball leads to you being productive, and with your swing and your power and your kind of your hand speed, if you're being productive, you have a lot of base hits, shooting them through the right side of the infield and into the gaps. Um, Another thing that I'll point out in the video that I was kind of worried about is sometimes you lock your lead arm. I don't know if that's from golf, maybe. I know you're really into golf right now, but sometimes you're locking that left arm, that front arm, and it's kind of pulling out your front shoulder. And the concern I have is, will you have trouble with inside pitches? I've seen it in the video as well. If you're locking that arm, it's hard to hit that inside pitch if you're locking up, straight arm across the plate. It puts your knob over the plate and kind of takes away the inside part of the plate. Make sure we're leading with that bottom hand, leading with that knob, right? Pulling the knob through early, getting the knob inside and in front of the baseball. And a term we use a lot for the action of the bottom hand is to throw the frisbee. Get that hand out in front, throw it back to the pitcher. Don't let it lock up, and turn your front side around and rotate. We want to throw that bottom hand, throw that knob at the pitcher. But I'll show you in the video in a second. And the last thing I really want to focus on is the approach piece. Um, I know you've had some struggles recently after coaching you for a few years about two strike hitting and kind of getting frozen up on some pitches, maybe guessing later in the counts. But I think, early in the season, especially to get going, get in a groove, I think you should be, looking for fastballs early in the count, pick them out and go get them. Um, Especially, I think you should key on that outer half. Don't be afraid of it. I think you're at your best when you're getting extended and you're driving that outer half fastball to right field, to the right center gap. So how can we improve as a two-strike hitter? I think what we need to do is use the whole field, break the plate into thirds, and I'll show you in a second on the diagram here, and hit the ball where it's pitched. Um, I think early in the count, go get that outer half fastball, shoot the gap. But with two strikes, shorten everything up, maybe choke up a little bit, be quicker, and just recognize where it's being pitched, inside, middle, outer half, and just try to be productive and move the ball around the baseball field. Um, I'll play the other loop, and then I'll go to that, and then I'll finish with another video here. So looking at the front toss loop here, you have some really good swings on the film here. I'll let it play through. First impressions here. You have that big finish and follow through, which I like. It means you're really letting your hands fly, getting them out in front. You're balanced. You have that click in, click out kind of load where you pinch in the front knee, get the front foot down early. Right? I mean, it's like rapid fire right here. How fast you're getting set and getting ready to go here. All right, so let me kind of go frame by frame here. So breaking down the swing, picking up the front side. Here's their load. Here's the top of your load right here. Okay. Things I like. Let me just draw on the screen quick. Hands are back, right? Sometimes I've noticed that your back kind of wraps a little bit behind your head, sometimes in this direction. Sometimes it's up here, more of a 45. You want to keep that bat somewhere along here, right? Hands back, lead arm across the chest here. Um, Building in this back leg. You're kind of upright here. You maybe could have a little more knee bend in the back. Make sure you're building on the inside of this back knee here. Let me clear it. Front side's coming down here. Right there's a good clip as far as separation goes, right? Front foot out in front. Hands are still back. Front foot lands. Hips and hands are next. Here come the hands. This is a low, looks like a low and out pitch right here. It's a pretty good frame right there. Things we like here are good bend in the back leg here. Firm front side here, straight front leg, right? Getting extended out in front. I think you're trying to drive this pitch to right field, which is great. And I love that you're seeing this pitch in well, right down the barrel right here. So it's a couple good frames here of you, you know, driving the ball when you're extended this way. I think that I keep saying it, that right center field approach really works for you. Let me clear it. Here comes the finish and follow through. Pretty good stuff. Bring this one back a little bit. It's hard to see without a catcher. This looks like it might stay middle, middle. Here's your load. Click in, click out with the front leg. Hands are back, front foot down. Yeah, this one stays middle, middle, maybe even on the inside. And you do a good job here, and I'll talk about this in a second, of not letting this ball really get up on you. But if it's an inside pitch, I like that you're recognizing where the pitch is. It's somewhere, if I had to guess, it's somewhere out here right now, right? And you're trying to meet it in front of the plate, which is great, not letting it get too deep. We're going to take this pitch and spray it to the left center field gap, right? And once again, more good frames here. More good frames here. Let me clear it. So as far as the approach piece, especially with two strikes, we want to break this plate down into three pieces here. And we've done this a lot in our sessions recently, and it's helping a lot of our guys. We want to hit the ball where it's pitched. So whether it's inner third, middle, middle, or outer third here, um, I think you're really great at hitting this pitch here, seeing it a little bit deeper, spraying it down the right field line. Sometimes, with two strikes, you kind of take this one sometimes. And I think you should really be hunting this and looking for this. Middle pitches. Let them get over the plate here, attack them here. And like we just saw in the last loop here, anything on the inside here, especially if you're locking that front arm and that lead arm, don't let it get up on you. Go get it early. See this pitch, recognize it early out of the pitcher's hands, realize that it's staying there. It's not, breaking away from you. Take this and drive this to the left center field gap. Middle one's right back where it came from, right over the pitcher's head. And then what I think you should really be locking in on is, this outer half pitch. You could drive this way. I think this is the best because your arms are getting fully extended, and you're really spraying that ball around on the right side of the field. I tried to find a good comparison for you in the majors, and a guy that I really think had some similarities to you was Eugenio Suarez on the Cincinnati Reds, and I'll show you why in a second. I was trying to pair this up actually with one of your clips. Let's see if I can do it again. Okay, so here's his swing in slow motion, and his load. Watch his front side. It's very similar to yours. Pinching the front knee. It's a pretty quick load too. I know it's in slow motion, but picks it up right here, kind of like you do. I could show you here. He exaggerates it a little more, but if I'm playing through yours. So you pinch that front leg in right there, kind of like he does. Right there. As your front side comes down after the top of your load, he gets to this point right here. His bat's kind of a little bit wrapped behind his head, similar to yours will be right here. So you can see the similarities here. Front side down. Here come the hips and hands. Front side down. And I'll play this through in a second again. Hips and hands. Here comes the knob. Knob's attacking the baseball. Here's yours. This pitch is a little lower on you than is him. Point of contact right there. Point of contact for you is right here. Extend through the baseball out in front. He's getting a little more out of his lower half and his legs. And a big one-handed finish and follow through. Right here, the big one-handed finish and follow through. He keeps two on the bat here. But playing it back here, I just thought it was similar to yours. The load reminded me of it. Um, he's definitely getting a little more of his lower half than you do. That also could go back to your golf swing that you talk about so much. We want to make sure that we're bending our knees a little bit more, generating more in our back hip, rear leg, and I'm using that to launch off like he is right here. You can tell his foot comes off the ground right there, right? Versus yours is kind of you're a little more upright in your swing in your lower half. Watch it here, but you're pretty quick snapping your hips forward, so you got a good amount of power. So just kind of reviewing here, and I'll send this over to you afterwards. Um, Things I like, right? Simple, quick load. You get to the baseball fast, put your foot in the ground, get ready to go. When your head's down at contact, you do a great job of squaring up baseballs. Um, and a big piece here is, I think you're at your best when you're getting extended on the outer half pitches. I think you have a lot of success shooting to right center field. The hand path stuff. Can we get to the raised fastball, the up and out fastball? We got to avoid dropping our hands. In some of the clips, I see that your hands start sinking as you track the ball. Keep those hands up, keep them across the chest. Let's avoid blocking that lead arm, avoid that, that golf type swing. Make sure we still get to the inside pitches. Think about the when we did this on the plate with the inside part of the plate. Catch the inside pitches on, way out in front. Recognize them early. Drop the barrel on them. Shoot them to left center field. And the approach stuff, I think early in the season, let's get the fastballs early in the count. Um, how can we improve as a two-strike hitter? Shorten up, you know, try to hit the pitch where it's being delivered, recognize early, break the play into thirds, and just go with the pitch. Um, any questions you have for me, you can shoot me an email or get me on Sports U. But I'll see you at the next practice. And any questions you have about any of the wording or vocabulary, bring it in and we'll discuss it and we'll keep working. I think you have a very good spring and definitely a good summer. I think your work's going to pay off. Great job, buddy.